Our regularly scheduled program will not be seen, so that we may bring you the following KHOU 11 special presentation.
Try to call 911 right now.
I seen how deep the water was, and I was like, oh, people over there.
It's still a lot of babies and kids back there.
It really is unbelievable.
And this has really been quite the scene.
Horses being swept away. The water keeps rising, the current's getting stronger. We've had one horse drown right in front of our eyes.
He has Montego.
Can't get him out.
He's coming.
These aren't just horses. I mean, they're part of the family.
And in this case, cattle seeking higher ground.
This is a dynamic situation across the city.
2, 3.
About 100 senior citizens that were rescued.
Appears to be the 7th death related to the flooding.
We have located a vehicle, and we've also located a victim inside the car.
I'll be the first to apologize to any Houstonian who believes that we did not respond in a timely fashion.
We're frustrated. There is no hope for us.
Come on, we got you.
We were told she needed to be rushed to a hospital.
Instead of watching the water, I took a nap. It was too late.
All I had to do was just watch my whole life float down the street.
What a week it has been as we watch the floods destroy property and lives. Now people are picking up the pieces and starting over. Hello, I'm Len Cannon. I'm standing near Buffalo Bayou, not far from downtown Houston, an area that was inundated with water 5 days ago. And over the next hour, we will explore the road ahead as our communities recover. The economic toll and the personal impact on people's lives is far-reaching. It'll be some time before we know the full financial scope of the damage. But here's what we do know. More than 1,700 homes have been flooded. 1,200 water rescues were performed. And tonight, 8 families are mourning the loss of a loved one.
Here you go, young man. All right, step down there. Come on. We got you. Okay. This is one of these situations where you see somebody and you just jump in and try to help out.
Man, those images are unforgettable, Doug. What a day you had in Greens Point at the Arbor Court Apartments on Monday. When did you realize that this was much bigger than we thought?
When I first arrived on the scene with photographer Sergio Soto, we rolled up. I was very surprised how few people were there. There were a couple of guys and a couple of boats, and some people had made their way to the bridge nearby. There was a boat of firefighters that had broken down there. They were there simply for emergency medical rescues.
Yeah.
They weren't doing rescues of people on the second story of the apartments. And on the top level of all of those apartments, we saw people just standing there, stranded. The people in the bottom floors had scrambled up to the top floors for refuge. There were 2 and 3 families staying in each of those apartments.
And at what point did people start coming towards you through the water?
That was interesting because it seemed as though they were resigned to staying there for a while, but a few of them started crossing, and I think they just got tired of being there. And the water wasn't going down, and many of them had children. And toward midday, the water not going down, more and more of them thought, I think, we got to get out of here. Even though the mayor had said, stay up there.
Yeah,
and they may
shelter
have
in place.
Yeah, they may have heard that on social media, whatever. I think at that point they were thinking, how long are we going to be here?
Clearly
we got
they were
kids.
uncomfortable.
What are we going to do?
And so, you know, the images that strike us is the kid in like a floating bathtub, people in a refrigerator, of all things. I mean, what, a mattress?
They would use whatever they could to float over there, little baby pools, whatever they could get, air mattresses, anything at all. This thing that was striking to us was they would get over to the bridge and there weren't even enough people to help them. And I looked over at one point, I realized there was nobody to help them onto the bridge. Come on, come on. Okay, there you go, get your purse. So in the middle of talking to you back at the station on live TV, I realized I had to step over there and grab people and pull them out while I was talking on television, which was interesting. At some points I just had to put the mic down and I hope you'll forgive me. I had to quit talking on television.
But what went through your mind when you realized, okay, I'm no longer just going to report the story, but I'm a part of the story?
Be careful, there's a manhole. I really didn't feel as though I'd crossed a line. I really, there was no toggle switch that went off. I looked down, somebody needed help, and I grabbed them, and it was seamless. There was no point when I felt like I crossed a line.
Yeah, in your career, have you ever done that before?
You know, I've been to accident scenes while covering things, but I've never on live television seen someone stumble, need help, pick them up, whatever. That, I believe, is the first time this happened, certainly on this scale, to be helping that many people out of the water. And And it was striking to me there weren't other people coming there to help us at first.
Yeah.
But after a while, of course, they were watching on television, and God bless them, people started showing up in boats.
Yeah.
People started showing up. They saw us there. They came to help. And after a while, we had a crowd of people there, and unfortunately, there were too many people on the boat.
Suddenly
the bridge.
helping.
And at that point, there were people crowded on that bridge, and what do we do about that?
Yeah.
You know, people were crowded there, and many of them had nowhere to go. They couldn't get out of there. Their cars were flooded, so they're stuck.
It was, I have to say, great reporting, and you got involved. You did the human thing. You know, even though you were reporting, you did the human thing.
Well, that's it. Honestly, there was at no point did I even think twice about it.
Yeah. Doug, thank you.
Thank you too, Len.
For sharing your story. And as you know, the rains triggered a massive response from police, firefighters, the National Guard, and the Coast Guard. Could more have been done? Harris County Judge Ed Emmett believes there's room for improvement.
My call came 3:45 Monday morning, and we were activated to level 1. Everything is just geared on life and safety and making sure that the residents are cared for and that the Emergency Operations Center is working the way it should. Then as you get into the recovery phase, various people are being moved out of their homes that have water in them. Then you start worrying about getting people the help they need. But then this far out, you really sit back and go, okay, what are the things that still make you angry? What is it that tugs at you and says, golly, we could have done that so much better? And in my case right now, that's the senseless drowning of a number of people that drove into underpasses where people have drowned before. And we've got to put a stop to that. We've got to, well, I'm willing to take ownership of that issue, to identify the locations that are most dangerous for people drowning in their vehicles and come up with immediate solutions to them.
Is there enough attention being given to the infrastructure that helps prevent or lessen the impact of these kind of disasters?
There have been a lot of improvements made. I mean, I moved to Harris County in 1966, and you can see the improvements on the watersheds and the detention ponds, and you think, how bad would it be if we hadn't done all that? But at the same time, there's more that can be done. I mean, I look at the Grand Parkway was just completed in the last month, and it went underwater and was impassable. This is a brand new highway. Now, you kind of kick yourself and go, shouldn't we have seen that somehow? Sure, we can always do better. But some of it's going to come down to money. And that's where it gets to be very interesting, because when we have people at the state level saying, well, we think the county spends too much money, we want to put a revenue cap on them. And then an event like this happens, and I go, okay, well, what if we didn't have the resources to respond? And so I hope that some of this movement of wanting to strangle government goes away, because, you know, a lot of things government does is pretty good, and I think we can do even better. It's not just the recovery and the rebuilding. It's kind of erasing the memory of all the bad. Get rid of the bad and let's start over. And this county does that very well.
As the county looks for ways to improve, Judge Ed Emmett also believes an enhanced warning system is needed. The city of Houston's response to this crisis has also been called into question. Coming up, Deborah Duncan sits down with Mayor Sylvester Turner to get his reaction.
There are people that need help because the high water is everywhere.
They were actually sitting on the back of their furniture because everything was floating around.
So we just want to get help to them.
Some mornings you just need a good laugh. Other times you need to get prepared for big changes.
We're starting off this morning with some really dense fog. There's a dense fog advisory.
No matter how your morning starts,
that's a great thing.
Cheetah will help you plan for the day ahead.
We're under clear skies. Fast forward to this afternoon. I'm expecting clear skies, lots of sunshine today.
Wake up with KHOU 11 meteorologist Cheetah Johnson. Weekdays on KHOU 11 News This Morning.
Ford Truck Month, now extended. Hurry, get 0% for 60 months on F-150.
Let me hear you say truck, yeah, let's crank it on up, yeah.
A high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body lets you tow more of this and haul more of that. Ford Truck Month, now extended. Hurry, get up to $10,050 total savings or 0% financing for 60 months on a 2016 F-150.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
Floors for Living is offering our contractor pricing our largest discounts to everyone. That's great savings for you on every floor in our store. And let us do the work with free furniture removing, free carpet removal, and free carpet installation. But this incredible savings is only for a limited time and only at Floors for Living. We're the carpet kings and the flooring experts, so you don't have to be.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
That sucked.
That sucked.
Didn't suck.
In my kimono, bought a car. From my casa, how bizarre. Saved me dollars, that made sense, that didn't suck.
In fact, I liked it.
That didn't suck. That didn't suck.
That didn't suck.
Didn't suck.
In fact, I liked it.
That didn't suck.
In fact, I liked it.
4x for scenic routes that only you find scenic. For the great outdoors and the great indoors. For knowing boundaries are there to be crossed.
4x4 today, tomorrow we'll never say.
Jeep Cherokee. It's how we live 4x forever. Get $2,000 cash allowance on the 2016 Cherokee Latitude, and Texas residents may be eligible for these additional offers.
We are responding to them, and we will continue to respond to them.
People that lost their homes and everything, cars, people that they didn't work hard to pay for and everything.
They are not overlooked. They're not going to be forgotten.
The city of Houston got some criticism about how fast it responded to the needs of its citizens, especially folks living in the Greenspoint area, many of whom felt as if they had been forgotten. Our Deborah Duncan sat down with Mayor Turner to ask how the city can be better prepared in the future.
There were several times we heard people say, we're stranded out here, we're flooded, what's the government going to do about it? What's the government going to do about it? And I think sometimes we forget that the government is not this inanimate, omnipotent power.
Right.
It is made up of people.
Yes.
And so those people who were prepared to help rescue, in some cases, couldn't get out themselves. So how much of a problem was that?
Well, this storm was so far-reaching. There was not one part of the city that wasn't touched. Even the county. There are 9 counties that were affected by it. But when you are in your moment of crisis, it is your personal crisis, and you want to be saved or you want to be responded to right there at that moment in time. It doesn't mean that, for example, the government is not doing everything that it can do. It simply means that we just haven't been able to reach you at that point in time. For example, in one part of town, on the north side of town, the firefighters were on the west end, attending to people that were in 3 or 4 apartments and moving them away.
There was stuff going on.
There was stuff going on. You had about 1,000 people that were being moved around or evacuated from 3 apartments. 100 of them were being taken to the Greenspoint Mall. The firefighters were moving down the line, hadn't reached that 4th one yet. The reality is that when things are unfolding around you, and you're scared, and you don't know if anyone is coming. You're yelling and you're screaming. So we understand that. I mean, I don't begrudge anyone for that. And to the extent, people couldn't get to you that very moment, we regret that. But what I say to people all the time is that if you've come out of that situation and you're still alive to tell that story or to voice that complaint, there's a blessing even in that.
As they say, disasters can create community.
Right. I saw communities stepping up, and I don't want that to get lost, because quite frankly, it takes all of this and so much more. Everybody has to play a role. It's not the sole responsibility of any one entity. Government can't do it all. Even when government is at its best, government still cannot do it all. And anytime we start assuming that government could do it all, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment and failure. But what government can do, government must do. You ask me what have I learned from this and what can Houstonians learn? We are the 4th largest city, soon to be 3rd. We have 3 million more people that are getting ready to come to our city over the next 15 years. When there is a crisis, we're not responding to 100,000 people or 1 million or even 2. We're responding possibly to 3 to 4 million people. And in order to meet their needs at their moment of needs, you have to have the assets. The answer is not to say to people in crisis, oh, but we're operating on the revenue cap, or we have a $160 million budget shortfall, and I'm thinking about laying off people, and I'm cutting back on services. They do not want to hear that. When you're in crisis, you want your mayor to be able to direct the resources to you. My job is to try to find those resources wherever they may be, to get to you at your moment of need. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to quarterback after the fact, or to, and this applies to everyone, just not to the average Houstonian. And that's why for me, it's very important, or even on how things are reported. Don't report it as if, you know, you can just snap your finger and the resources can go. It's much greater than that. And I think all of us, we do a disservice if we don't understand that in a moment of crisis, it's all of our responsibility. Everyone has a role to play. I regret that we lost 8, but think of the hundreds and hundreds of others that are now safe and are able to speak out and say their story, whatever it may be. That's what Houston is about. And that's when we are at our best. And that's when we recognize when we can be the most diverse city in the country. But in this particular crisis and so many others, we were one family. Houston stood as one.
So in the weeks ahead, we will continue to do reporting on exactly how the city recovers from the devastating floods.
About a matter of 2 hours, like it was already up to above my knee.
People say at some points the water was up to their necks.
Had a boat in the backyard and decided to come out and help.
Buy it today.
We'll install tomorrow.
Free furniture moving, installation, padding, and finance. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor.
If you don't know Jack.
I love happy hour at Taco Cabana. My friends and I love to share a plate of nachos.
Goes well with my margarita.
Everyone needs a margarita in their life.
Come in for happy hour and try our new jalapeno-infused guava margarita for just $1.50. Here for a limited time at Taco Cabana.
Before the Cadillac ATS-V shook the establishment. Before every angle was carved for competition. Before road-ready meant track-capable. Before its speed left a segment behind. Before it all, the Cadillac ATS. Daring runs in the family.
Get this low-mileage lease on this ATS from around $299 per month. Plus, Texas residents get an additional $1,400. Visit your Houston area Cadillac dealer today.
We live in a pick and choose world.
Hi.
Choose, choose, choose. But at bedtime, why settle for this? Enter the Sleep Number bed, designed to let couples sleep together in individualized comfort. Sleep IQ technology tells you how well you slept and what adjustments you can make. You like the bed soft. He's more hardcore. So your sleep goes from good to great to wow. Only at a Sleep Number store. Save $1,200 on the i10 mattress with purchase of Sleep IQ technology and FlexFit 3 adjustable base. Hurry, and Saturday. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
As soon as I walk in, someone's greeting me. Hello, welcome to Taco Cabana.
I love the Mexican plate. It is the whole kit and caboodle.
It comes with taco and enchiladas, really good.
Right now, come in for the Mexican plate and a 20-ounce drink for only $4.99.
Buy it today.
We'll install tomorrow.
This week only at Jack's Carpet. Save up to 46% store-wide. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor.
If you don't know Jack.
Your family, your home, your belongings, the things you worry about during a storm.
I have a 100% chance this morning you're going to see rain, so grab the umbrella.
Accuracy, instant updates, important warnings. Our commitment to covering severe weather.
We could see 7 to 8 inches in some spots overnight.
This time of year, weather can change quickly. Get the information you need to keep your family safe. The KHOU 11 Weather Team stands for Houston.
This was the worst flooding event to hit our region since Tropical Storm Allison 15 years ago. I sat down with Chief Meteorologist David Paul, who puts the events of the past week into perspective.
With this particular system that came through a few days ago, the peak rain totals that I saw were about 17.5, 18 inches in that one night. So compare that to Allison at 24 to 25 inches in one night.
Significant.
Significant. Well, both are off the charts. I mean, Allison is in its own category. That's a 1,000-year plus event. In other words, it should only happen once in 1,000 years.
Now, I've never heard that before.
This one we just went through a few days ago, it's about a once in a 500-year event. So it's a big one, but not as big as Allison.
Allison 2001, a 1,000-year storm. That's the mother of all flooding events in Houston. Last year we had a big storm, the Memorial Day floods, and a year later, less than a year later, here we are doing it again. So back to back, does that indicate a pattern to you climate-wise?
It is a weather pattern change. In my opinion, it is not a climate change issue. It is a weather pattern change.
So explain.
So a few years ago, remember the drought?
Yes.
It was never going to rain again in Texas. Lake Travis and Lake Conroe and Livingston were all way down, and we were going to be in water shortages forever.
The state was on fire.
Well, guess what? Weather patterns change. So back in 2011, it was the heart of the drought, and boy, give it a few years, we went into an El Nino situation, which for us means we usually get increased rain, especially in the fall, winter, and spring, and that's exactly what we are seeing right now.
Any way to predict how long the pattern will last, El Nino will last?
That's the right question. So we think El Nino has peaked, is peaking right now, and will begin to diminish. That's the forecast.
Diminish when?
Well, by the middle of summer, we think that El Nino will have either gone neutral or slipped into what we call La Nina.
Okay.
Which is an actual cooling of the Pacific waters. La Nina can do a couple of things. It can cause drought patterns in the United States, but it can also enhance tropical storm development in the Atlantic Basin and the Gulf of Mexico. So, I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. Yeah. But the short answer is yes. The past 12 months, we've had a weather pattern shift to El Nino, and that has allowed what I believe these increased rain events to occur.
Based on your projections, other meteorologists, we are about to come out of the El Nino cycle.
Yeah, we are. But you know what? Even if we go back to just a normal, what we call an ENSO neutral.
Let me write that down.
El Nino Southern Oscillation.
Thank you.
Neutral. Southeast Texas gets a lot of rain.
Yeah.
We're right next to the Gulf of Mexico.
Sure.
Those drought years we had, that's what's unusual.
Those were aberrations.
This is closer to normal, Len. We get heavy rainfall. It happens. Even if you're not in a flood area, buy flood insurance, because we get these unusual rainfall storms, you know, a couple times a year, and if it's in your neighborhood, you got a good chance of flooding.
Everything is bigger in Texas, including these deals, which add up to huge value. So get the truck made for Texas and always lead the pack. Get a great deal on a Ram 1500 Lone Star, including the Pearl White Special Edition exclusively for Texas. Get $9,500 in total values on the 2016 Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab. And Texas residents may be eligible to get $1,000 Southwest bonus cash and $500 Chrysler Capital bonus cash.
Thank you so much.
Did you say honey?
Hey, try some?
Mmm, that is tasty.
Thanks.
Is it real?
Of course. Are you?
Nope, animated. You know, I'm always looking for real honey for Honey Nut Cheerios.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Great. Mind if I have another taste?
Not at all. You all right, bud?
Never better.
Oh, I don't know if he likes that. Yeah.
Part of a complete breakfast.
What is a mattress? How does it make you feel? Where did it come from? How was it made? The best possible product at the best price.
This April, all month long, shop our quality Pillow Top Queen set starting as low as $245.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
Floors for Living is offering our contractor pricing our largest discounts to everyone. That's great savings for you on every floor in our store. And let us do the work with free furniture removing, free carpet removal, and free carpet installation. But this incredible savings is only for a limited time and only at Floors for Living. We're the carpet kings and the flooring experts, so you don't have to be.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
Customers everywhere agree. When it comes to unparalleled service, outstanding selection, and incredible savings, Fort Bend Kia is the premier must-see dealership. Discover the exhilaration of our exceptional service and the thrill of getting the very best deal. Right now at Fort Bend Kia, lease the exceptional 2016 Sorrento for only $249 a month for 36 months, $1999 to its signing.
It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the best. Experience the difference of Fort Bend Kia.
We're seeing people stranded in apartment complexes.
The neighborhood is banding together, people are keeping smiles on their faces and just doing the best they can. The word is getting out and they're getting the help they need.
Welcome back to our 1 hour special, and right now I'm joined by Carol McCoy with Team Rubicon. What is that, you ask? Your organization goes all over the world answering the call to disasters as you did in this case. Explain what you guys go in and do.
So Team Rubicon is an organization comprised of about 35,000 members right now. We are about an 80%, 20% mix between veterans and first responders and civilians. We like to unite the skills and the experience of our military veterans with first responders, and that allows us to rapidly deploy these emergency response teams.
So when they're all here in full force, what will they be doing?
So when we respond to a flood, we typically do muck outs. It consists of going into a home, removing the flood debris, which is usually mud and sodden carpet, sodden drywall, and then we'll go in and remove any drywall that's been damaged, wet.
So you're helping residents?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And that's what we focus on. We focus on individuals, and we try to look for underserved populations first that may be, socially vulnerable, economically vulnerable. We look for some of our fellow veterans.
Yeah.
And that's where we try to go in first.
So in some cases, many cases, you have veterans helping veterans.
Absolutely. It's an incredible experience for all of our volunteers. Many of our volunteers are combat veterans who, once they come back into civilian life, sometimes it's a very rough transition. They've lost their sense of belonging to something bigger than they are.
Right.
Sometimes it's the lack of a mission. Sometimes it's a sense of purpose. And they find all of that when they come out and step into a volunteer role at Team Rubicon and have the opportunity to serve again. I've seen grown men reduced to tears by the thankful hug of Grandma.
Of Grandma.
It's an incredible experience.
Carol McCoy, Team Rubicon, bringing in the veterans to help. Thank you so much for joining us.
You have to band together with people. You have to band together and you have to stick together. That's the only way you're going to get through something like this.
From the outside, something like this is difficult to explain, especially when the water has already receded.
And all I had to do was just watch my whole life float down the street.
Explaining something like this is much easier from the inside.
This is what used to be my living room.
David Cason moved here this January to be closer to his kids, worried they might get caught up in a flood.
I have nothing here.
Instead, it happened to him.
And I stepped into floodwater when I woke up this morning.
Like so many others, he estimates his losses in the tens of thousands.
What used to be my laptop, it's ruined.
And as is always the case, much of what is lost has deeper value than any dollar sign.
You know, my son had that toy in his mouth Saturday and I told him to put that down. And now it's there.
Everything is gone.
This is the harsh reality.
Everything except resolve.
1 minute you have something and the next minute you have to figure it out. It's just one of those things in life, nothing's promised.
It's back. Right now, you can earn 4 times the fuel points on gift cards at Kroger.
I got my supplies with a gift card and earned 4 times the fuel points.
We buy restaurant gift cards and earn 4 times the fuel points.
They're not just for gifts anymore. Use them to buy the things you need anyway and earn 4 times the fuel points on gift cards at Kroger.
Choose from hundreds of gift cards for your favorite stores and restaurants and watch those fuel points add up. Saving more at the pump is easy at your neighborhood Kroger.
You shouldn't have to go far to get the help you're looking for. That's why at Xfinity, we're opening up more stores closer to you, where you can use all of our latest products and technology and find out how to get the most out of your service. So when you get home, all you have to do is enjoy it. We're doing everything we can to give you the best experience possible, because we should fit into your life, not the other way around.
These are the Frees, and these are also the Frees. And the only thing they have in common is they both don't like free stuff. Just Yashin, of course they like free stuff. So when the Frees signed up for the fixed rate Reliant free month plan, they got, wait for it, yes, you guessed it, a free month of electricity. Which just makes sense in the free homes. No, not that Reliant is offering free homes, because that would get kind of pricey. You can get your 12th month of electricity free. Just one more reason, we're just like you, Texas. Totally one of a kind. Reliant.
Mr. Lover, now Mr. Lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic. Call me fantastic, touch me on me back, she says
You live life your way. We can help you retire your way, too. Financial guidance while you're mastering life. From Chase, so you can.
Now take me thin, no pill.
Sometimes our pets aren't the only ones that make bad choices.
Honey, I'm home.
Now there's Pet Armor Plus. It has the same active ingredients as Frontline Plus, so it's just as effective against fleas and ticks, but costs up to 40% less than vet prices. So you can protect your pets without the shame of overpaying. Pet Armor Plus, available at your local supercenter.
You are an important part of the KHOU 11 News team during severe weather coverage. Your photos, videos, and comments help us show the hardest hit areas and provide the most important information. During severe weather, we're all in this together, and together, we all stand for Houston.
Two people who don't even know each other working together to get this vehicle out of the water.
We just watched them rescuing you. Are you glad to be out here?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We have been talking a lot about recovery tonight, but the question remains, what can be done to lessen the impact of these types of natural disasters? Rice professor Phil Bedient says we need more infrastructure that will mitigate flooding across the region.
You're not going to solve the flood problem here. All you can do is mitigate it and try to improve it. We live in a flood zone. We have to learn how to live with the floods.
With a booming population and housing demands, Houston is losing areas where the water can go. One place that may provide more relief is Brays Bayou.
I wasn't surprised about Brays, because I've known about Brays forever. I mean, it's a flood-prone watershed that unfortunately there's a solution and a remedy. It's not perfect, but it would get them a long way. But they need to implement it, and they need to do it quickly, and they did. And that project, if it had been completed on time in 2014 when it was supposed to be complete, would actually have handled probably the May event pretty nicely. There would have been a little bit of flooding, but nothing like what we had. It's going to lower the levels 2 to 3 feet out there in Brays Bayou, but that project is now delayed until 2021, 2022 because of slow pay on the part of the federal government. Apparently that is just now, based on what just happened here, is now going to start moving faster.
Professor Bedient says to best understand where we are today, we need to explore our past.
It goes way back. You know, in the 40s, we built Addicks and Barker reservoirs out on the west side, which protect downtown Houston and actually do a pretty darn good job. They knew what they were doing back in the 40s in terms of flood control in this region. The ultimate plan was not completed because something came along called World War II, and we ran out of money and men to finish the project. And ironically, after Addicks and Barker were built, no other upstream large reservoirs were incorporated into the Houston scene. Project Brays came in post-Allison. great step in the right direction to put in some reservoirs in the upstream end to widen the bayou, to allow for, if you will, make room for the river so it can come through and not cause such flooding.
Well, after what happened this week, there's certainly a lot more attention being paid to Brays Bayou, and people are hoping the federal government responds and once again provides money to help make the bayou safer.
We've been here 15 years, never flooded before, and now this is twice in 1 year.
We're just trying to rescue as many people as we can.
We called for help, and thank God they came.
Buy it today.
Won't start tomorrow.
Free furniture moving, installation, padding, and finance. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor
if you don't know Jack.
When it drives and looks like new, you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW. Take advantage of exceptional offers through BMW Financial Services.
Gallery Furniture invites you to put Sunbrella stain-proof fabric to the ultimate test.
I can't believe that they're allowing them to actually paint on a white couch. No type of solution. Water.
But are you, can we do it?
Can we do it? Oh, look, that one.
Oh, that one is. I can't even see it anymore.
This Sunbrella fabric from Gallery Furniture is mother approved.
Today, more homeowners are replacing their current windows with windows from Window World. We'll come to your home for a free consultation and demonstration and give you a free estimate. Our windows are custom made for your home and installed by licensed professionals to give you energy-efficient windows in a choice of colors, styles, and sizes. Window World, simply the best for less. Call for your free estimate today. 713-439-1172.
4x for scenic routes that only you find scenic. For the great outdoors and the great indoors. For knowing boundaries are there to be crossed.
4x4 today, tomorrow, we'll never say
Jeep Cherokee. It's how we live 4x forever. Get $2,000 cash allowance on the 2016 Cherokee Latitude, and Texas residents may be eligible for these additional offers.
Buy it today.
We'll tell tomorrow.
This week only at Jack's Carpet. Save up to 46% store-wide. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor
if you don't know Jack.
It's a long way, but I wasn't going to give up on him.
Those are not firefighters. Those are just a couple of guys who took it upon themselves to bring a raft out here.
The Red Cross is known for rushing to disasters, but did you also know it helps guide people through the recovery process?
As people start to think about moving on to recovery for their own selves and their families, they really need to start thinking about what insurance they have, if they haven't already contacted their insurance company, if they own their home and they have flood insurance, making sure that they, once the presidential declaration is declared, that they register with FEMA to receive individual assistance from FEMA through their flood insurance. If they don't have flood insurance, they need to be thinking about if they have renter's insurance for the contents in their homes they may have lost, and what they need for their own recovery in terms of where they're going to live long term. We'll be providing shelter for folks as long as they need it, but part of our role is to help people move on to the next phase. And so, do you have friends and family that you can stay with if you can't get back in your homes?
For Steve Vetrano, CEO of the Red Cross in the Texas Gulf Coast region, disaster relief is personal.
The Memorial Day floods, our house flooded, and I had to evacuate my family at 2 in the morning to the neighbors. And so one of the things that was important to us, even knowing disaster, was talking through our plans with other people. And folks in our neighborhood, I mean, that's all we did when we saw each other. You know, where are you in your recovery? How are you doing on your house? What's your plans? And so just having someone to talk through that, even if it's not a Red Cross person, but someone that is a trusted person for you, is very important. And that happens long term. This is not something that, you know, it's going to be a week or a month long. This is going to be a year or longer for people, many people in their recovery. I would just encourage people to not despair, to stay strong, to utilize resources, allow people to help you. Sometimes people freeze and they don't know how to allow others to help, or they can't get their head around that, but allow others to help.
Comet and bleach and Windex.
That'll help.
That'll help on it?
Yeah.
All right.
That was a very big part of our recovery, is having friends and neighbors come in and help us. Utilize resources that are available to you. You know, do your research, look on webs, join these Facebook groups that are resources to folks. There's groups that come together, people who have experienced flood, and not even just in Texas, but all over, and that is a great resource as well.
While no one likes having their lives turned upside down, Vetrano says these events often make communities stronger.
People rally around each other when something bad happens. And community becomes bigger, I think, in a disaster, because you may consider, you know, what you consider community is one thing, but then there's a greater community out there that wants to come and help. It may be people you didn't know. And certainly, again, experiencing this during Memorial Day weekend, there were people that we now know better than we did before, because we've had this shared experience and we've gone through it together. And I think that is a positive that comes out of any disaster.
If you need help from the Red Cross, or you would like to donate or volunteer, log on to redcross.org. The organization is currently operating 8 shelters across the region.
Building the only truck with the best fuel economy, over a 10,000-pound towing capacity, and an award-winning engine takes guts. Always leading the pack, that's the glory. Get a great deal on the trucks that give you both during Ram Truck Month. Right now, get a low-mileage lease on the 2016 Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab for $218 a month.
26 years ago, we started with an idea. Make something truly great. Focus on quality. Build it by hand. We build mattresses every single day. That makes us the experts. We are Texas Mattress Makers.
This April, all month long, shop our quality Pillow Top Queen set starting as low as $245.
That sucked.
That sucked.
Didn't suck.
In my kimono, bought a car. From my casa, how bizarre. Saved me dollars, that made sense, that didn't suck. In fact, I liked it. That didn't suck. That didn't suck. That didn't suck. Didn't suck. In fact, I liked it. That didn't suck. In fact, I liked it.
I would kill for something sweet.
Wanna split that?
No. So much fat.
Don't fight your instincts. With 150 calories each, try our rich and creamy cheesecakes. Fiber One.
You say tomato? Old El Paso says diced tomato stand and stuffed chicken tacos. You say what's for dinner? Old El Paso says start somewhere fresh.
Q50 holding short runway 19 right. Q50, do you copy? 227, runway 19 right. Roger that. Q50, clear for takeoff? Clear for takeoff.
The 400 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti. Experience the Infiniti Q50 at your local Infiniti retailer.
Usually we're prepared for this stuff, and it just came so quick.
The high water is everywhere.
For me, these aren't just horses. I mean, they're part of the family.
People weren't the only ones who needed help this week. There were several animal rescues, including a dramatic effort to save 80 horses from the fast-moving waters of Cypress Creek. Rekha Mudaraj has the story from North Harris County.
That is just one of dozens of horses out here trying to make it to dry land. They are stuck here on Cypress Creek after floodwaters rushed this area. So many of the people you see along here are volunteers. They have been getting in the water themselves, trying to rescue these horses.
The water keeps rising, the current's getting stronger.
Dozens of desperate horse owners and horse lovers gathered on Cypress Wood Road along Cypress Creek with ropes and boats. Anything to rescue the more than 80 horses from Cypress Trails Ranch caught in the floodwater.
I watched the weather till 2 last night. It looked like it was kind of settling down. The radar showed no more cells coming in, and I woke up at 3 and it was already to the stage we couldn't get the trucks or trailers out.
Get back down here where that boat's going to be at.
Volunteers clashed with Harris County Precinct 4 constables. Deputies trying to keep people safe.
Is it? He has Montego.
But Justin Nelzine says when he saw what was happening on Facebook, the former Marine felt compelled to dive into action.
I also race horses internationally, so for me, these aren't just horses. I mean, they're part of the family. So put them out here like I do for anyone part of my family. Got to go save them.
So many others followed suit, braving the cold, murky, fast-moving floodwaters. The ranch owner told us at least 10 horses had drowned. But these volunteers continued to work in an effort to prevent even more tragedy.
Yes, we would risk our life for horses because that is our life, is the horses.
Rekha Muttaraj, KHOU 11 News.
The floodwaters affected several communities, and our Larry Siebert got a chance to survey the damage from the air to see just how widespread it is.
He's piloted planes for 18 years, flown over 6,000 hours, and taken off from West Houston Airport countless times. But this time,
that is full.
Is different.
It's just shocking. It kind of slaps you in the face.
Josh Verde took us in his plane to see flood damage at 1,200 feet.
Pretty much all of George Bush Park is out of service.
Half of the city of Wharton looks like a swamp. Rooftops and trees about the only things not covered by the swollen Colorado River. And in Sugar Land, we saw the Brazos overflowing near homes too. But the most powerful images to Verde.
That water is almost to the top.
Lie east of water drowning Highway 6.
This thing is just full.
West Houston's aging Addicks Reservoir has never held more water. Verde lives nearby. His home is dry, but many of his neighbors were not so lucky.
There's still a danger even though the rains have stopped, and I think our flight kind of illustrated just how much water is in the Addicks Reservoir, in the Barker Reservoir, and you know, what are we doing with that water? And it's encroaching on these neighborhoods in Bear Creek. It's a message to county leadership, city leadership, federal leadership. We can't let these things fall into disrepair. They have to be kept modern for everyone's sake.
It's also why he needed to see it from above. Perspective, the kind he can't find anywhere else.
My brother woke me up and told me that the house was full of water. Water just started coming in through the door.
It was scary. It was real scary.
Hey there, neighbor. What are you working on?
The view.
Uh-oh, better get Mako. For a limited time, Mako's lowest priced paint surface is on sale for only $3.49. Mako, America's body shop.
You've got Texas pride. You see its beauty, love every adventure. That's why you drive Ford Escape. Escape offers the convenience of a foot-activated liftgate and the connectivity of Sync 3 technology to help you go where others won't and be unstoppable. Now, get an Escape with 0% for 72 months, plus $500 bonus cash, or $2,500 total cash back.
Ford is the best in Texas.
Even though we're sisters, we've got very different taste in furniture.
I like a fresh look in my dining room, a simple look with clean lines.
And I like a dining room that makes a very bold statement.
Let Gallery Furniture bring your style to life. With made-to-order solid wood bedroom, dining room furniture, and entertainment centers, all custom made in America.
Choose your style, give us your dimensions, pick your wood and finish, and Gallery Furniture will deliver your custom wood furniture exceptionally fast.
At Gallery Furniture, we believe the best style
is your style.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
Floors for Living is offering our contractor pricing our largest discounts to everyone. That's great savings for you on every floor in our store. And let us do the work with free furniture removing, free carpet removal, and free carpet installation. But this incredible savings is only for a limited time and only at Floors for Living. We're the carpet kings and the flooring experts, so you don't have to be.
Floors for Living, the flooring experts.
I never thought I would be an artist, and 7 years ago I was in a situation that I needed to find a way to make a living out of nothing, so I started painting. In Houston, people just accept you for who you are. The diversity here is real. You can actually deliver a very strong message in one image. I'm Annette Ronan, and I'm an artist in Houston, Texas.
Hey there, neighbor. What are you working on?
The view.
Uh-oh, better get Mako. For a limited time, Mako's lowest priced paint surface is on sale for only $3.49. Mako, America's body shop.
Right now, they have about 70 people and pets who have been rescued, brought in on these boats.
This man, paralyzed, partially paralyzed, just pulled out of an apartment here.
We told you at the top of the show there have been more than 1,200 water rescues across the region. And as we begin the process of moving forward, so does the Houston Fire Department. They are taking lessons learned from this week to do a better job in the future.
Every incident is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. A lot of people say, what are the lessons learned? Well, there's nothing that went wrong, but there's always an opportunity to do it better. And what you do is that no matter what how the event goes, you scrutinize it. We sit back and we're going to look over everything, and we're going to try to find ways to provide a higher level of customer service to our citizens. And I know sometimes it's difficult because it's hard for someone in need to realize, why aren't they here? Well, because they're having to use those same roadways that are congested and underwater that everybody else uses. But our response was definitely a tiered response. Our first tier was, let's help those in the most life-threatening situations. The second response, once we satisfy those, now let's start moving those that we had shelter in place to areas of refuge. And then the last one, take them from that area of refuge to the shelters where the Red Cross can get involved and we can work as a community to restore their living situation.
While most of us call on the fire department in an emergency, the department often helps out beyond the initial crisis.
The Houston Fire Department does have a community outreach team. Many of our members were going out to some of these shelters, seeing what the needs assessment was. Then they make phone calls to us downtown and see if we could assist. You know, a lot of times all we have to do is really put different people together. We have citizens that are offering water, food, and then we have need-based over here on another location, so we just bring them together. So that's where we got really engaged. And now our second tier is continue that education process, continue to send out those emergency messages so that people can be self-resilient along with our response.
At times this week, firefighters had a hard time persuading people to leave their homes.
Well, one of the situations that we saw most was rescuers show up in these high water vehicles. And we're fully equipped, we're ready to start moving some of our citizens, and they tell us, no, we're gonna stay because we're worried about our property, or we're worried about somebody coming into and taking our property, or they think it's gonna pass. And then what happens is 3 hours later, they start calling 911, no, now I wanna get out of here. We should have moved them earlier. So I think what you need to really take back is, if you know your area floods, the most important resource you have is you and your family. So don't worry about what is lost. Take pictures, inventory your belongings, and make sure you and your family are safe. And when we show up, let's get them out of there. Inventory your belongings, those can be replaced, but you and your family cannot.
Ahead, some final thoughts.
A couple of guys just on their own have been riding around on a boat rescuing people. We're just trying to do what we can.
And it's a community-wide effort. It's like a well-oiled machine at this point. People just taking it in stride again.
Buy it today.
Won't start tomorrow.
Free furniture moving, installation, padding, and finance. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor
if you don't know Jack.
4x for scenic routes that only you find scenic. For the great outdoors and the great indoors. For knowing boundaries are there to be crossed.
4x4 today, tomorrow, and never say
Jeep Cherokee. It's how we live 4x forever. Get $2,000 cash allowance on the 2016 Cherokee Latitude, and Texas residents may be eligible for these additional offers.
This is Aaron and Zoe, and they're pretty different. They do have one thing in common, though. They just got a free power pack with the Reliant Power on the Go plan. It charges their gadgets on the go, and heck, it's even solar powered, which works for Aaron and Zoe because they've got stuff they gotta do. Catfish. Get a $400 Power on the Go pack for free when you sign up on the Reliant Power on the Go plan. Just one more reason we're just like you, Texas. Totally one of a kind. Reliant.
Uniquely mapping a patient's brain to remove tumors without damaging healthy tissue. Navigating a patient's heart in real time with unprecedented accuracy. And visualizing facial reconstruction before the first incision. Seeing better so we can heal you better. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
It's just incredible.
Service here is amazing.
Everyone is so helpful and friendly.
The best dealership I've ever done business with.
The only thing better than the great things people are saying about the all-new redesigned Fort Bend Kia is what they're saving. Right now at Fort Bend Kia, lease the exciting all-new 2016 Soul for just $189 a month for 36 months, $19.99 due at signing.
It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the best. Experience the difference of Fort Bend Kia.
Buy it today.
We'll tell tomorrow.
This week only at Jack's Carpet. Save up to 46% store-wide. Carpet 2 rooms and a hallway with soft, luxurious Mohawk carpet from $7.99 installed. Get to Jack's Carpet today because
you'll pay more for your floor.
If you don't know Jack.
If you need help, call the KHOU 11 News I-Team, 713-284-1090, or send an email to iteam@khou.com.
There are people that need help because the high water is everywhere.
And I just thank the Lord that we got out safe.
You can see furniture floating around in the houses.
I know there are difficult days ahead for people who lost some of their most treasured possessions, but one thing I noticed that was really special to watch this week, a community rallying around each other, to be at a shelter and watch people come pouring in with their time and their money and their donations. Giving back, it's what makes us great, and it will help us heal. I'm Len Cannon. Thanks for watching, and good night.
Everybody's pulling together, dragging everything out, helping each other. Oh, what do you have? Do you need this? Do you need this? And this is a godsend.
I mean, neighbors said we helping each other. We came together to help us as one.
So we're taking brooms, we're taking trash bags, and we're going to go and help our brothers and sisters.
To be able to go to somebody who's lost everything, and through the simple act of sharing a meal with them, try to bring some hope, some normalcy back into their lives.
And just seeing people with the Salvation Army coming down our street is just mind-boggling.
I'm telling you, absolutely, all the volunteers that have helped us, I'm going to see so much good come out of this.